welcome back. So today's episode is gonna be cartoons, like the cartoons that we were raised on. Raised on cartoons and trauma.
Very much so trauma.
We had
extra trauma.
Our generation had many cartoons that taught us lessons, taught us how to emotionally regulate, how to suppress our emotions, what to expect in school, from bullying to colorism to a lot of different topics that are happening today that is causing a lot of trauma to Gen Z and after them. I don't even know who's after Gen Z. I don't know if it's Gen X, Gen whatever.
I think it's Gen Alpha. They the next ones after
Gen Alpha.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Whatever it is,
like it starts over. I don't know how that works. But the reason we bringing you this podcast is because when we were growing up, entertainment was actually entertaining. You remember being outside with your friends all Saturday and then coming back home and to watch Snick Saturday nights on Nickelodeon. That was lit, right? That's the vibe we trying to bring back. That's why we here. You feel me? But anyway, I say all of that to say our cartoons were so much better than y'all cartoons because ours was intellectually. I'm spacing on a word right now, but you get what I'm saying. Rugrats, Fairly Odd Parents.
It were teaching us. It was teaching us.
Educational.
Our cartoons were teaching us, from Arthur to Hey Arnold to the Rugrats to Captain Planet, the Magic School Bus. Like, all those cartoons were teaching us lessons, and every episode we were taught a lesson: how to be kind, how to be nice, how to express your feelings, how to tell somebody that somebody is bullying you in school. All those cartoons taught us every single thing that we know now, and it's still being played, and I hope they're getting the residual checks for it because those cartoons are amazing, because I still watch them still to this day. I watch Arthur every now and then. I watch Sailor Moon all the time.
Wait, hold on. You ain't seen the Dark Side of the 90s documentary?
Yes,
them residual checks is not hitting.
I know it's not hitting, but guess what? It's okay.
I feel for y'all, by the way. Thank you for telling y'all story.
The cartoons were it. Our cartoons were it, and still to this day, I will watch them because they were it. And you, as an adult now, looking at the cartoons that we grew up on, like Arthur, right?
Yeah.
Arthur was, first of all, think about Arthur. If anybody has watched Arthur, the song itself made you feel like, oh, I'm alive, like that's me. It was sung by Bob Marley. It was sung by Bob Marley. It was a Jamaican singer.
I'm so glad
singing the theme song to a cartoon played on PBS.
Because a major thing that gets looked over is a lot of our entertainment when we were kids, the stuff that we all consider cool now, like rap, R&B, like all of the music that we like, back then it was still relatively cheap. That's how you got Destiny's Child singing the Proud Family theme song. What was the group that sang the Cousin Skeeter? You know how for Cousin Skeeter, Christina Milian with Kim Possible, nah, I missed that.
Yeah, I mean,
Coolio on Kenan and Kel. Oh my god.
Then you also had damn, what was the damn show? All That. Like,
and I feel like all that was like the bridge from like greatness to wherever we are now, because I feel like somebody's parents was watching all that when Ice Cube and them performed and had all of them kids rapping about
listen
had them kids in the audience rapping about,
but you gotta bring it back. Remember, we are the golden era, we are the shift. We learned every single thing. We had to learn Tupac, and then from Tupac we went to Jay-Z, and from Jay-Z we went to Jadakiss and everybody else.
If Tupac survived that shooting, he would have been performing on all that.
True. But anyway, back to the cartoons. So
with
my
no
favorite
shirt
cartoon
on
was Arthur
and a bandana.
Oh my god, here we go, Aaron. So my favorite cartoon was Arthur, Pepper Ran, Sailor Moon.
You was a Sailor Moon girl?
Yes, I'm still a Sailor Moon girl. I love Sailor Moon.
What was the name of the dude with the all black
tuxedo mask? Hello. I'm gonna tell you. Hello. Sailor Moon was a girl's girl, and she fought for love. And I'm a lover girl.
How many of them was it?
It was a lot.
Oh, okay. There was a lot of sailors.
He's a hater.
No, I ain't never watched Sailor Moon.
I know, because he was probably watching Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, like a other fifth grader.
Yeah, but Sailor Moon was it. Sailor Moon was for the girls, and Dragon Ball Z was for the boys. But Sailor Moon was it. But my favorite cartoon where I learned a lot of lessons was actually Arthur. I learned a lot of lessons from Arthur. And I believe still to this day, because it still plays on PBS, I think every kid should watch it. Gen Z too should watch it, because you learn lessons that you don't really learn in school yet until you get to probably middle school or high school. And then middle school is probably like the 8th grade.
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the show I actually learned the most from, as far as like regulating emotions and dealing with other people, is actually Recess.
Recess.
I truthfully feel like the schoolyard is the best microcosm of society that you're gonna get in this lifetime. Like that is the best preview to let you know like how the world around you is gonna spin.
Recess.
Yeah, for real.
I forgot about.
And the
Recess.
phone is ringing. How unprofessional. You see this? This is what I'm working with.
I'm sorry. Let me turn it down.
And we not supposed to. We supposed to be breaking stereotypes, and then you all glued to your phone.
I'm not glued to my phone. I'm trying to turn it down. But anyway, Recess. I forgot about Recess because I used to watch that too early in the morning before I went to school.
The schoolyard is truly the best microcosm of society. Yes. Like it's the best example or preview that you're gonna get before the real world.
Pacelli?
Spinelli. Real name Ashley.
Her.
Ashley Spinelli.
Yes, I loved her. Oh my god.
What was the tall skinny girl? I think it was Gretchen.
No, Gretchen.
Tall skinny girl with the glasses.
I don't think so.
It wasn't Gretchen?
I don't know. Am I allowed to pull out my phone to Google it?
No, you are not.
But yeah, a lot of people think because we're like so born in this era where we watched, you know, the shift from the internet, from phones to technology, actually watching technology be invented and be, you know, think about it. We were the first ones with the computer. We were the first ones with the Macintosh. I remember having the blue and clear ones. Yes. Yeah, the blue and clear ones in the school. It was transparent.
They were so ugly.
Man, we had Game Boys, Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Advance. We had all the technology.
Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS,
and even a Tamagotchi.
The nostalgia.
Yes. So I
don't know nothing about Sega Saturn.
Listen, back to the cartoons. Again, back to the cartoons. So with our generation, people think that we were like lazy and stuff, and we were too mature for our age during that time period of growing up in the 90s to the early 2000s. And it's like we wasn't really mature. We were still kids. We just was aware of a lot of stuff, you know?
Yeah, we were definitely conscious babies. But I don't like how we get labeled lazy, and we grew up with the parents that used to call us all the way into their room just to get the remote that was like 2 feet away from them. Like,
or call you from outside playing with your friends saying, can you come throw out the garbage? Like, ma'am, go throw out the garbage. What's going on? Throw out the garbage.
You're traumatizing me right now.
Yeah.
Bringing up old demons.
Well, I would say when they say that we were too mature for our age, I would just say that we've really been through a lot growing up as a millennial. Like we witnessed a lot. Think about it.
And I just want to say right now, if you're age 29 to 35, if you're in that bracket, I just want to say sorry for you, because I know at least some point in your life you was outside, you was with your friends, you was enjoying yourself, having a time of your life, and then you heard your mom or your daddy call your name loud as hell, and then you had to come running back in the house for God knows what. You might have been getting your ass whooped. You might have had to do some homework. You might have had to do some chores. You might have just had to say hi to your auntie on the phone, and then you can run back outside. It taught me that I ain't want to be bothered for real. That's what it taught me. Like, yo, leave me alone.
We learn emotional responsibility at a young age. That's what we learned. Think about it.
If you could call it that.
Think about it. If you was outside, right, and matter of fact, no, scratch that. If we're watching a cartoon in the house, because that's what we're talking about, cartoons. We're watching a cartoon in the house, and your mother wants to change the channel, and she changes the channel because it's her TV. She pays the bills and all that. You are upset. You're crying, hysterical, and she's telling you, it's my TV. I paid for it. I pay the bills. Blah, blah, blah. This is what's going to happen.
I mean, that's culturally relevant, because if you think about it,
we learned it at a young age, but that's why we're like how we are now.
So if you think about it, all of the cartoons that we grew up on, like Rugrats or Recess, you realize the adults were the enemy. The adults were the villain.
Yes. Well, Rugrats, they never watched the damn kids.
Yeah.
The kids was running around doing inventions.
But the kids was doing that in spite of the parent, like sneaking off, because they know if the parents caught them, they was going to be in trouble.
True, but they were also doing that because they weren't being attended to.
Yeah, they
were
was in the
bored.
play. They was
were
in the playpen,
bored.
and Lil Tommy Pickles was a genius.
But they were bored. They were bored. Think about it. When you was a kid and you was bored, what did you do? You did bad stuff because you were bored as a kid. Your parents or whoever was around you wasn't paying attention to you. So you went and you did
I don't like the word bad. Let's say adventurous.
You was adventurous.
Facts.
Because I was adventurous.
I don't know about all that. You might have been bad.
No, I was adventurous. I wouldn't even say I was a bad kid at all. I was just lost. But I wasn't a bad kid. But all those cartoons really like taught you like, yo, like the parents, yes, were the problem. Also, the kids were bored. And if your parent is not paying attention to you as a kid and you're running off, you know, like you said, unlocking
Yo, Tommy Pickles, I feel like we don't talk about that. Little Tommy Pickles was a genius because he kept the screwdriver in the diaper to shake loose whenever he needed to.
But that goes to show you, back to what you said, because you brung it up. You brung it up. You brung it up, Aaron. You brung it up. The parents were the problem, right?
They would.
You mean to tell me they never changed his pamper?
I'm not saying they were the
found
problem.
The damn tool in his pamper?
They were the villains.
But that's still considered a problem.
I mean, I guess
the villains. Chucky's father was very paranoid.
Shout out my nigga Chaz.
He was paranoid about everything.
Nah, Chaz was about that action for real. He ain't play about Chucky.
He didn't play about Chucky, but he just went about it a
different way. And he was a single dad. I definitely cried during that Mother's Day episode.
And also, did they even have jobs besides Stu and Angelica's mom?
Yeah, Tommy's dad was an inventor. I mean,
he was an inventor, but did he actually make money?
Yeah. He was well off. Grandpa Stu ain't had no job.
As much times as I watched that cartoon,
I don't think Dee Dee had no job because she was a stay-at-home mom.
Or even the twins' mom either. Like, what were they doing? You wasn't watching the kids. So what were you doing?
Getting older is realizing Phil and Lil's parents were two gay people that just wanted to have kids.
Yeah.
Because like you look back when you realize they moms always had the headband, the sweater. She was always working out.
Yeah.
The pops was always mad, timid. He had that weird head and the shape.
Yeah, but again, it goes back to what you said of them being villains and being.
And shout out Susie parents because they ain't played none of that shit.
Yeah, Susie parents, man, listen.
They had money. Susie parents had money.
They had money, but what did they do? We gotta do a recap.
No, I think Susie's dad was an inventor too.
I don't know, but we're gonna do a recap on that because I really want to break it down. Like, what jobs did you guys have that you really couldn't pay attention to your children leaving the playpen? Remember the movie Rugrats Lost in Paris?
Facts.
How the hell do you use children in Paris? What were you doing?
Oh man, it was genius babies, man.
And I watched that movie 1,000 times. I remember it coming in the VHS. It was orange. You popped it in and we watched it. But how do you lose children?
That goes back to, step to a different topic. But that goes back to how so much of the things we consider valuable in our culture were cheaper back then because Teddy Riley made the theme song for the first Rugrats movie. Teddy Riley, Blackstreet, Maya, Mace.
Okay, but to the cartoon.
Yeah, what about the cartoon? It was the Genius Babies. They were
Genius Babies. They were adventurous. They went through a lot of trauma. They suppressed their emotions. They learned how to navigate through Angelica bullying them all the freaking time, which made her the villain of the show because she was bullying even Susie.
I think Angelica was more of an anti-hero than a villain.
She was, yeah. I could say that, but she's
not anti-hero.
I think she was very misunderstood because she wanted her parents' love, and her parents were always at work.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
but
she was bored.
You remember
again?
The meme?
It goes back to being bored. She was bored.
But do you remember the meme where like the mom is on like the treadmill and she's saying like if Angelica's gonna be successful, she has to eat, breathe, sweat, and sleep, self-esteem.
True.
And you gonna say that and you was neglecting your daughter? That's crazy.
True. And that's what I'm saying.
What was the mom's name was Charlotte, right?
I don't even remember. But all I know is that it was a good show. I love the cartoon. It was a good show. But it taught us a lot of lessons. In each episode, it taught us a lesson. Chucky's mom, when that episode, it was episode 4 because I remember it. It was Mother's Day. And Chucky's mom, he found out what happened to his mother. because he kept having dreams and visions of her, stuff like that. And he finally found out what happened to his mom. She got really sick. She was terminally ill. She passed away in the hospital.
And Son was just putting two and two together. He was like, yo, everybody else got moms. Where my mom at?
Exactly. And we didn't really get like a backstory of what actually happened. I guess they didn't want to like, write it in, or they were trying to figure it out. But that episode did share that she passed away, and he really wanted a mom.
And back then, you could have stuff in shows that was just like, it's obvious, but you're not really going to talk about it.
Yes.
Like, you feel me?
Yes.
Like, Phil and Lil's parents, they're like, yeah, we know, but we ain't going to talk about it.
Yeah. Which, again, like
Scooby and Shaggy being potheads. Do you think
we were, like, okay, for us being millennials, because you have the older millennials, and then you have us, that's in our 30s, right?
Facts.
So, do you think our vision or our, how would I say this? Our experience with the cartoons are like really different from what they experience in the cartoons, like Captain Planet and Thundercats and all that?
Well, I ain't never watched Thundercats or Captain Planet, but
really?
I would say our shows was more interactive because it makes me think of this one meme with this guy, and it's not a real show. Nah, it's a dude. He's talking about the idea of a show that would be named Surf Dracula. Right, the idea is back in the day, if Surf Dracula came out, every week you see Dracula with the surfboard surfing waves, going on different adventures every week. Right, if that show came out today, you'd get a whole season about flashbacks of what led him to get the surfboard, to the point you'd get him surfing on it in the finale for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then you have like X-Men. Like X-Men, for me, the way I looked at it, because I watched the whole seasons, like all the seasons.
Who's your favorite X-Men?
My favorite X-Men? Jean, of course. I love Jean.
She's always dying.
I don't care, but I love her.
She's a fan of death.
I love her. I love Jean. I like Jean because when in the cartoon, when she really reached her power, like her
she dies.
Power, I know she dies, but she wasn't tamed anymore. When you're trying to tame somebody and try to hold them back to reach their highest level, even in life,
I feel like that's not what I would call taming somebody. If I'm stopping you from,
her back.
I'm stopping you from dying. Like, if I let you loose, you're gonna destroy the universe.
Okay, boom. If the writers rewrote it as when she finally reached her highest power, right? And she was able to control her highest power to where she didn't die, would your opinion change?
Yeah, facts. Because then she would just be a regular X-Men and not dying all the time.
But she reached her higher power. So if they weren't trying to hold her back and teach her how to maintain her power,
you can't
how to control her
the
power.
Phoenix Force isn't something that's maintainable by one telepath.
I'm gonna watch that again.
No, I'm
gonna watch it again because
Phoenix Force, you always needed like and I could be wrong. Somebody watching and tell me the correct number, but it was like you needed 6 or 7 telepaths to like fully be able to control it. Like it couldn't be in just one. But what made Jean so special is that she was a telepath and a telekinetic, and that's like extremely rare to be both. You can read minds and control things with your mind.
Yes. But again, I think they should have wrote that different. And you learned a lot from X-Men as well.
Rest in peace, Jack Kirby. He the one who wrote that. The
trauma in X-Men that they actually went through, like being judged and stuff, which is happening still to this day. So
based on the civil rights movement.
You learned a lot, based on the civil rights. Yeah. What trauma did you think was normal? We were taught that was normal.
Getting your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Getting your ass was like, it was like customary for you to get that belt, like on the bare buttocks, fresh out the shower.
I say yelling as communication. Like yelling at me doesn't make me want to do something just because you're yelling at me.
Yeah, and
it doesn't scare me.
If I'm right, shit is still my fault.
Yeah.
Cause that was very much in my household a lot. Don't be the kid that outsmart your parents. They gonna make you pay for it.
Yep. They're gonna make you pay for it. Silent is a punishment.
You're wrong, and you talking back.
They never like. Have your parents ever like emotionally checked in on you?
I don't know.
Growing up.
We ain't getting none of that mental health stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it taught us in the cartoons though. But I'm just saying, like,
yeah, that ain't TV.
I mean,
This is real life.
True, yes, real life. But at the same time, like, there was so much lessons. Like, even if you go back and watch the cartoons, like, today, if you go back and watch it, you will, like, pick up something like, oh, my God. Like, I went through this, and I didn't handle it properly. Or handled it to the way that the TV show, like, would handle it.
No.
But I feel like our cartoons, like, again, like, taught us so much stuff that we were able to basically carry the world on our shoulders.
Yeah, and it kind of fit into a schedule almost. Like Black History Month, we're going to give y'all cartoons about racism. During the summer, we're going to have
You remember
less
the Martin
cartoons.
Luther King cartoon?
Yeah, hey, our friend Martin. Word.
Yeah.
That was, I
Liberty
wheeled.
Kids. I used to love
I
Liberty Kids.
wheeled the TV into 4th grade. Shout out Miss Hargett, who taught in 138. I wheeled the TV in 4th grade myself so we could watch our friend Martin.
Yeah. I used to watch that in, like, when we used to have, like, snow days in school. They used to put it in the auditorium.
Wait, you had snow days in school and went to school?
Yeah.
If I had a snow day, I didn't go to
No,
school.
it was snow day because Giuliani, when he was mayor, remember, he was mayor. I was in the 6th grade. He didn't close down the schools. It might have been Bloomberg. I don't remember.
It was
But
Giuliani.
he didn't close down the schools, and all the it was about like 8 teachers in the school, and we still had to go to school. Like, my mother kicked me out the house, said, go to school. And I had a white North Face on. So imagine walking down the street in a white North Face and a car just, comes riding past you and splash you, and then you're going to the school. You're forced to be sitting in the auditorium watching the Martin Luther King cartoon on a small TV screen because they didn't have the projector that day. So it's about 100 kids watching the Dr. Martin Luther King cartoon on a freaking TV.
Rudy
being wheeled
Giuliani.
in.
Rudy Giuliani, if you are watching this, you and I still got beef over stop and frisk.
Oh my God.
Them people stop me damn near every day after football practice. For nothing. Send me $20.
He said, send me $20. You could send me more than $20.
Send me $20.
But healing without a manual,
Oh yeah, we did all of this raw dog. Like, I ain't gonna lie, we got the way these kids talk about mental health today. Like, it do kind of make me proud because I feel like we laid the foundation for that. Because we was walking, they was watching us bleed as adults. Cause we ain't it wasn't no Band-Aid for what we went through.
that's true.
We just had to chalk it up. That was suck it up, figure it out.
Yup. Keeping our mouth shut.
Like
You trip and fall, get up.
it's
Keep going.
I done
That's
made
what our
people feel
parents told us.
small with my trauma responses because it's like oh, what do you mean you taking a day to yourself? Like, you need time. Where they do that at?
Well, I just feel like it. For me, it's like you don't need a manual to heal. It's just like you're not. Well, for me, I'm just speaking for me. I'm not blaming me growing up, turning out the way that I am today.
And FYI, for anybody out there who does
more
and
about
is trying to heal, healing requires time and intention. Time and intention.
Time, intention, and help. Seek therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. The therapist will give you tools to learn how to cope and to use, but you have to use them every day and practice them every day. So you are healing and going through your journey. I'm in therapy for many reasons, but healing, going to therapy, speaking to people, even if it's an outsider, so you don't get a biased opinion or a bias, whatever you want to call it. Go to therapy.
I'm not in therapy, but people tell me I should go.
I can tell. We love our parents, but they're still damaged. There's still damage that needs to be acknowledged.
Forgive mom and dad. They were figuring it out too.
And watch the 90s cartoons. You will learn a lot of lessons in the 90s cartoons.
And one of those lessons will be
Even
mommy
in
and
Dragon
daddy.
Ball Z, you'll learn a lesson.
One of those lessons will be mommy and daddy has some stuff to heal from too that they ain't never healed from. So forgive mom and dad.
Man, but this is episode 2. I hope we see you back on the next one.